take care of some business and say, hey, please support our sponsors, particularly www.djeventplanner.com. And of course, at the end of the video, it'll be down in the description, all our other sponsors, and you can see them in the upper left-hand corner as well. So before I introduce my very seasoned panel that I have this evening, I am going to give you the topic, and it is, what are you doing new or different for the 2020 season? Whether it's weddings or events, whatever, what have you. And with that, I will go left to right and welcome DJ Mikey Mike. Welcome, Mikey.
Hello.
And of course, we have Buddy from Chicago. Welcome, Buddy. And Mr. Brian S. Red. Welcome. And he's back. He's back from the long, arduous road trip. Mr. J. Brannon.
I'm all in, Howie.
You're all in. And, of course, the road dog himself, who has been traveling quite a bit, heading up to the Great White North soon again, Mr. John Crawley.
Hey.
All right, guys, the topic is, what are you doing new or different for the 2023 season? Who would like to go first?
Well, I guess I'm starting to filter out my clients. I mean, you got so many people calling, and it's just people want the lowest price but the best quality, and push them off to the side. That's it. I'm booked, or just keep going. That's it. It's unbelievable how they are now. It's COVID. COVID's over. Right. Don't have the money in. See ya.
All righty. Well, that's not everybody's your client, I guess.
No.
Hey, Buddy, what are you doing different this year?
I am, I've taken a challenge last year, thanks to John Colley here, teaching me some DMX stuff, and also going into stereo lighting, is getting rid of the spin and puke lights. Mm-hmm. And I know we've talked about plenty of times in the chill room on, not having dots on people's dresses and stuff like that. I know I've shared pictures with you guys and grown out of that spin and puke field, but that's my main focus, is to have the lighting be more elegant and much more of a flush light, for flushing the floor with lighting and filling the floor with lighting.
Wash light.
Right? It was close, but that
wash light is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
More of a filling of the floor.
Washing the floor. Yes.
Yes. And it's
you're not going to die in this one.
I'm here to help.
Right here. With light, and have that, you can have that very elegant color and very, very elegant look without blinding grandma, without having lights in people's faces,
right?
Without doing all of that stuff. So the spin and puke lights are being retired, and we're going into more of a direct but indirect lighting and not harsh lighting.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Sounds like wash lighting, buddy.
Don't be telling your clients you're going to be bringing flashlights. Yeah. No, do it. Just tell them you're going to wash the dance floor lights. 2 words, new terminology.
Mm-hmm.
Wash lights. Wash. Yeah, no R's in wash.
Unless you're from Boston.
Yeah. Well, wash. Down south, they eat a lot of extra R's.
Wash. Yeah.
Wash. I'll take the next one then.
Sure.
2023 on paper was going to be the back to basics year, to sit down and revisit a lot of the stuff that we talked about last time when we were coming into 2022. What are you hoping to do? What do you want to get to? I mean, a lot of that stuff still stays the same. There's the market at the end, I'm sure, for all of us. So we got to keep up with our websites and post some new pictures and get caught up. There's the never ending dirge of music that you got to sort and get together. It's just finding the time and, putting it on a calendar and making yourself do it. Not like I'll get to it. I think the last update I did on the website was probably August, and then everything just snowballed, and it's just been nonstop since. So you got to take the time. You got to make the time to take the time. to really say, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to, it's the back to basics, you know, you know, get the music sorted because there's always gear. There's always, there's maintenance, there's certain things you have to do just to keep your presence, just to let people know that you're still active. And just, I had a lot of stuff thrown at me lately, and I'm hitting the road again this Thursday. I'm going up to Maine for a 24-hour ski DJ party that's going to run through all night. So that'll be fun. But again, it's just, again, on the calendar, say I'm going to find time to do this stuff because, our business is our priority. We're not working the 9 to 5. This job is all consuming and it really never ends. You always have something you have to get to. You just don't want too many things to fall off the table because you didn't have time for it. And that's kind of my thing. And it takes a lot of strength and a lot of energy. And it's just, how far. And I got to thinking about this quote that I like from Billy Connolly that was at the tail end of Boondock Saints. I actually pulled it up. He's talking to his sons and they said, how far are we really going to go with this? And his quote, I just pulled it up. The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the constitution and the depth of faith to go as far as is needed? So we got to find the strength to get it done. And I just thought that's just always stuck in my head. And that's kind of my driving force is find a way to be the best you can be and get it done.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
John, whose car are we going to take? Glad around, just asking. Well, I'll go because I just had a beautiful 9 days in the beautiful Las Wages, city of sin, and I was fortunate enough at the time to send the hate mail to John Young at whatever. I got to see a lot of people and talk to a lot of people, and I got to see a lot of what Brian and I over the years have talked to about the critical mistakes of the industry. And I think a lot of what I see for 2023 is going big, big, big. Fireworks, sparklers, flames, smoke, champagne, crazy suits. It's all kind of, and I really want to try to make this year, like every year, I want to stand out by what I play. I think I had a great run last year with that. And I just picked up a new Parliament Funkadelic track. I'd never even heard it before. And I'm like, wow, how many great bands have I not heard music by? So much like John was saying about scheduling time to clean up my hard drive, it's also time to go back to basics. Like I bet you there's Earth, Wind, and Fire tracks I could play during cocktail or dinner that I've never heard that people would be blown away by. And I want to be that guy that's known for, oh, the music was incredible. Because I'm not going to buy sparklers. I'm not going to buy crazy stuff. I don't want to do, shooting star effects. I want people to hire me and look at me as, this is a guy that can play anything and everything. His programming is amazing. Because that's what I am at heart. I'm a DJ. I don't want to be stuck in the trends. I don't want to be Cardi B to Cardi B to Cardi B. I want to be, here's a great time, but still know the new music. And I'm the first to admit, I could do a better job with new music. So I want to really focus this year on music, and I want that to speak. I want to hold on. I just pulled up my favorite artist here, Joe Perry. I want to let the music do the talking. It's really where I want to go with that.
That was good. Thank you, Jay. I guess
Respect to John on that.
Rep.
I guess I got to kind of echo what Jay says. I mean, everyone's coming off of a show right now, and there was just a big online webinar that the Checking just hosted with several panelists who gave some good information. What I would caution anyone to do, and this is nothing new. This is me as a broken record, kind of saying the same thing over and over again. But
I know what you're going to say.
You got to be.
And I'm excited.
Be yourself. Be an artist. Be the best you can be. When we're all doing the same thing, where's the value in that? So,
right.
Yeah, there's good tips, but you have to be your own person. You have to be your own artist. If you have to rely on bang zoom things like Jay was talking about, that's okay if that's what you need. But you know what? I don't know. Focus on yourself as an artist. Come into your own. Just don't be a Me Too DJ. Just be the best you can be. And there's a lot of really good information out there as to how you can improve certain things. I heard some talk about editing your speech from Jim Cerrone, which, absolutely edit your speech.
Yes.
It's like reduction of fractions. You know, you can take this, you can take what Jay says and paraphrase it. Just break it down to its smallest condensed form and throw it out there. And that's better than giving, you know, this long explanation of something. When you can say the same thing in fewer words, it's more effective. I got a lot out of that. Well, let me rephrase that. I concur. How's that sound? You know,
Yes.
it was confirmed that I am doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing by listening to some of this. But yeah, I mean, just be yourself. I mean, that sometimes I even get tied up in it. Sometimes I'm even thinking, ooh, well, I got to do this new thing because everybody else is doing it. None of that. No, stop. Do you well. And I'm not afraid to say no this year, by the way, to people. I'm not ready to work with anybody who is on a tight budget because they're buying things that are unnecessary, and they could be spending their money in better places. It has to make financial sense to me to do anything. If it doesn't, I'm not doing it.
And I've got to add this, Howie. I apologize.
No problem.
Consider the source, and I'll just drop that on the floor. Just whoever you're listening to,
yes,
please consider the source. Do a little background check. I mean, I had people last week that have been a DJ for 4 years, and they were speaking at a show, and I just shook my head like, I'm interested. Yeah. What can you teach me? Wow, that seems a little rudimentary, but so consider the source of where you're listening.
You know, I put a quote out.
Pre-record your set and then take pictures with the crowd in Vegas while your set doesn't mix. Okay, there, I threw it out there. Okay,
I put a quote out there last week on social media,
Jay.
and maybe it wasn't last week, maybe it was the other day. I don't know. Let me see. When was it? It was
lovely to say on social media.
Okay, on Facebook,
on a bathroom wall at a dive bar.
It was on
Facebook. Yeah.
On the internet.
Here's my quote, because I believe this. I believe this 100%. When in doubt, listen to someone smarter than you.
Yes, absolutely.
Then confirm it with someone smarter than them.
Right.
Because I think we get tied up in, you know, some of these people who are all of a sudden, they want to get in front of people. They want to talk. They want to say things. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel validated. But, you know, maybe they've got something to learn too. And they may know something you don't, but running past somebody who you feel like is above them to just check the math.
Well, share it. If you're going to give me some info, Brian, let me give you some info. Yeah, show some validation.
Right. Well, that's
don't just be like out of the wisdom.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of these things, Howie. It's like, oh, here's this guy talking about social media. Guess what? This will shock everyone. If someone's going to teach you about social media, look up their Instagram. See how many followers they have. And everyone hates when I say this, and they go, oh, that's not fair to judge numbers. No. That's exactly what this is. If they don't have a lot more than you, then they don't know a lot more than you. Or they'd have a lot more than you.
Well, they may know something you don't, so it's always good to listen, but to take what they say as gospel is not advised.
Exactly. Right. That's my point, Brian. It's like, come on. If you got 12 million followers, you know a lot more than me. If you got 1,200 and I've got 1,000, we're probably doing something similar, but I could probably tweak mine. Let me hear what you have, and I'll tell you what I did.
That goes for my stuff, too. If you go on my channel and I say something and you're like, I don't know about that, run it past somebody who you feel like has more experience than I do and see how they feel about it. Make your own decisions on this stuff. I mean, don't.
Well, I've often done it with you. Like, what do you really mean, Brian? You know, you're in the room. It's like,
I get a lot of these.
Okay, now I get it.
What does this mean? Just the icon on some of the things that I post from you. Cause oh, what?
Yeah, Brian.
And that's fine. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to question everything.
That's Brian's break glass. When in doubt, break glass, play Prince.
I do that a lot on your videos where that emoji like this, I go, tell me more.
I don't know.
This isn't going to everyone's not going to like this. Oh, this is going to be good.
be yourself and don't make any compromises on that. And now if you're coming into your own, keep coming into your own. Artist development is something that never ends. You can look at any great artist out there and let's just say in the music world, and artist development is a thing that happens over time. And sometimes people are doing the best work at the end of their career or towards the end of their lifespan. I like to think I would be that guy. I want to think that when I'm however many years old, right before my life's over, I'm doing my best work because it's a constant learning curve and you're always improving. But yeah, be you. Don't be what they tell you should be. Be you. That's, I don't know how else to say it. Be true, you know?
No, I mean, that's perfect. I feel that way myself. Especially when Jay brought up Parliament Funkadelic. I actually used Parliament Funkadelic in a cocktail hour, and they went crazy for it. You know, they were like, "Wow, this is not like typical." You know, and I was actually had, you know, handshakes and thank yous and so forth like that. And it's just, I don't know, I get that from the seasoned veterans in this room a lot. But the one thing that I have just recently done, because I have retired from doing weddings for physical reasons, but I'm still doing production. So I've come full circle. I'm back doing lights and sound and so forth. Was I went through my emergency bag and realized, oh my gosh, I am carrying a lot of unnecessary weight. And I just weeded out, well, you know, and then after being up in Lake Placid where they broke not both of my lightning cables, but they broke both of Eric's cables, and John had to save the day and go run out to some store outside of town and get us a cable. And then I had a heart to heart with Eric before the night, you know, when the night ended. And Eric, please, on your way home, I know you go past big box stores like Walmart and things. Like, please just buy two brand new lightning cables. We only have one, you know, and if you need it because the production person comes in and says, hey, we need you to play this off of, you know, an Apple product, and he's got to plug that into the soundboard. You know, it was a nightmare. He actually unplugged my iPad to take my cord because his cords were broken. And so I unloaded a lot of stuff, but I did, this might sound crazy, but I bought 4 lightning cables because they're so lightweight.
Makes sense.
You know, and they will be in there because, well, when you're in a situation in a production trailer in tight quarters and they're moving like soundboards in and out, you know, they only think about themselves. They didn't realize, hey, you just knocked over my iPad, cracked the protective screen. I always have protective screens, and I just bought, you know, brand new ones, like, you know, again to have. But they bent that the weakest cable on the market has got to be that lightning cable. I mean, it's so thin. You bend it a little bit, it's done.
They don't do well at 25 degrees either.
Right.
Sure, the cold didn't help.
Exactly. No. So that's I've been concentrating on that, and actually for fun, because I'm just doing community events and so forth like that. The weddings are just too much for me now at my age. And thank you to Brian for those speakers. Those will be perfect. They work great this summer, and I have no doubt they'll work, this coming season. But I'm just my thing is, well, what you've been doing all along, Brian, just lighten my load, simple, easy, effective, and wash lights.
Yeah, wash. Is that a thing?
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. Theater term.
Yeah, theater term. But yeah. Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
There's one thing that I want to do this year. And
Cool.
and I think that I haven't been doing a very good job at it. And it's a tech thing, and I want to learn more about it. I've made every effort to make it good, but I think I can make it better. I would like a louder, clearer microphone for when I make announcements, because I had a problem at an event that I did a while back where there was something wrong with people hearing what I was saying over my microphone. And it was an unfamiliar room and it was an unfamiliar PA and all that stuff, but I need to do something to have the loudest, most commanding microphone, almost just as loud or a little louder than my loudest, signal I'm going to send out on a banging tune. Clear, concise. I don't want to talk a lot on a microphone, but when I do speak, I want everyone to hear me clearly.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that's really hard to test for me anyway, because, well, Jay, yeah, you're on you're on a recorded mic. You can't go out in the audience and listen to yourself. And then when the room changes acoustics, when it gets filled with people, it's hard to do it then too.
It sounds great empty, but you're like, wait, now you can't hear me? No, I'm 100% with you, Brian.
So I'd like to
see what you do to find that, because I'm going SM58 wired or wireless.
Me too.
And I'm fine, because I assume, I know the mic works, the speakers work. I did a little sound check to an empty room, which makes no sense, but I do it every time.
Right.
And later when I get on the mic and I'm like, they're not all paying attention. How come?
Right.
It's also the words.
Yeah.
I'd also be the words.
It could be, but it's oftentimes, especially, this is something that, all right. So I do a lot of things, right? Everybody knows I DJ, whatever. I also have recently really gotten into cars. I've always done cars, but I'm really into it right now. And if you have an electrical problem, for instance, chances are there's not one thing wrong. Chances are there's a whole bunch of things.
Yep.
There's a lot of weak links in that chain.
Yes.
So if you have a headlight issue, you can replace the switch. Yes. You can replace the headlights. Yes. You can replace the harness. Yes. You can put a dedicated headlight harness on. Yes. You can even change the voltage regulator that's in the same harness as the firewall to headlight harness. You can replace the dimmer switch, the high beam, low beam switch. But you know what you should do? Probably just replace all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a 60-year-old car, maybe there's something wrong with that stuff. Let's just replace all of it. And that way we know there's not a problem.
Well, don't you always replace both headlights when one goes?
Yeah.
Because if only one went,
That's
logically always the next one. It's sort of like, when's your water pump get replaced? When you do the timing belt. Well, why? Well, because I've got to get in there, and it's at the easiest time to replace on newer cars. The easiest time to replace a water pump is when the timing belt comes off.
Yeah.
On older cars, it's different. But that was always that upsell was, you probably should do the water pump because I'm already going to be in there.
Yeah, while you're at it.
It's easier. It cost me another $80 to do the water pump. Now, I always bought that as, they're the mechanic. They know.
It drives me absolutely crazy when I watch some of these.
Well, because you'll wind up with, if you do it the opposite of what you just suggested, Brian, you'll have intermittent problems. You'll be like, doggone it, why is it working now and it's not working? And that's what happened to Eric with one of his lightning cables. It worked for a little bit and then it doesn't work. I said, throw it out. Just throw it out and buy a new one.
Start over.
Howie, does he have an iPhone or an Android?
Oh, no, he has Apple computers and he has the iPads.
And he has none.
And he also does have PC, but he has so many things running in that production trailer that there are, most of it's Apple, but some of it is Android.
I mean, I have 3 lightning cables in my backpack. I have a charger from my phone. Like, it's my phone. Ultimately, my iPads and my phone all use the same cable. I'd be terrified to only have one cable to maybe get my phone charged so I can safely get home.
Well, that's what he had, was one
At bare minimum, you have 2 or 3 of what is going to get you your roadmap, get you a phone call, get you an AAA phone, whatever. Like, why would you ever want to take a chance at that? I mean,
I don't know.
But, sometimes that's how we look at things. We just go, I only need this. No, I need more than just this.
Well, here's a bonus tip too, is the chargers are so darn cheap. Buy an extra charger as well, because maybe it's that. So when I got home, because of what I had to do to get Eric up and running for the light show, was his iPad was dead. I mean, dead, but he's leaving it. And it's like 6 degrees out. And I took it back to the room and I set it on the heater to heat up the battery enough. And then what I have is a 40-watt charging block, and it would not take a charge to save its life. He was going to throw that iPad away. Well, I gave it a bump with the 40-watt. As soon as the iPad turned on, where it was like 1%, I unplugged it. I put in a 20-watt, and then I let it creep up to 50%. And then I put the proper charger for the iPad, which is 10 watts, and let it go overnight. And that ran for the entire show.
Right.
You know,
Saving him $300.
And now he has. But there's tricks to the trade where you wouldn't charge, that on a 40-watt. You would probably burn it up. But just give that battery enough of a bump. Help us.
Yeah. Be smart about it.
Hi. It's great to be here.
So,
you gotta stop.
Anyway,
we're not being held hostage.
Just a little tech tip. Help us. Brian feels like he's, like in.
No, the joke was
in front of Al Qaeda.
This means you need help.
Yeah.
Or blink twice.
Yeah.
Blink twice.
Why are you blinking twice? I wasn't blinking twice.
That doesn't mean no.
Yeah, what was that blockbuster movie where they were being held hostage and they were blinking in Morse code?
I
uses cardboard.
I was absent that day of school. I don't know Morse code.
Oh, you were never a Boy Scout, probably.
If I remember, dot is SOS.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, I think you're referring to the Hanoi Hilton. I want to say here we go. I know. That was doing that during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
It was held by the North Vietnamese, and he was being recorded on film. And when he was talking, he was spilling the propaganda, but he was blinking in Morse code to
yes.
U.S.
Yeah.
There's so much talk about AI out there, and I'm like, what do you need AI for? We've got a buddy.
Yeah, buddy. We don't need AI.
It's like Super Google.
By the way, they asked Chat. You guys know what Chat GBT is?
Yeah.
Okay. They asked Chat GBT to explain why a real DJ would not like AI. And the explanation was, it was on Howard Stern today. It was absolutely perfect. Chat GBT came back with, I'm a living thing. I can read a crowd. I've spent years practicing. I know all my, like, literally everything we've always said. I was like, oh, this is making it even worse.
Yeah.
Now I'm agreeing with the damn AI.
Yeah,
No,
it's already in denial. Yeah.
well, but no, you're right. No,
But interestingly enough, I was watching a show this weekend, and they were talking about AI in this Chat GTP, and they were saying how, maybe we shouldn't worry as much as we're worried right now, because this isn't self-aware AI. This is just like Super Google, where it's taking all the information and analyzing it really fast. They'd asked it a question. It was something like, tell us about the great French philosopher Alexander B. Schmidt, or somebody who didn't exist. And it gave a whole dissertation of them, like made up history of them.
right.
So it's gathering not only facts, but false information too. And it knows how to lie.
Yeah,
It just does what it does. Your song is coming up next.
Never heard of a French person called Schmidt.
Well, whatever. I mean, it was something like that. But they gave us like a history of this person who didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, write me a report or an essay or whatever you call that. When you're in school and you have to write the thing, what's that called?
The book report.
Oh no, the big thing, the
Dissertation.
at the end, it's like you have to write the thesis or the whatever,
Dissertation,
whatever on the guy. And
Yes.
yeah,
Look at Jay. Look at Jay now. Ooh, hey.
it was all
AI.
cleft. But they were saying how I think the terms they used was narrow AI, which is what we have right now.
Right.
It just kind of takes the information that's out there and interprets it. It's different than fraud AI, which is self-aware, and that's, like a robot in a Twilight Zone movie kind of thing. We're not there yet, and we may never be there, but
probably. Siri knows what a flashlight is now.
Well, yeah,
That's cool.
Me too. It is, yeah. Interesting.
you put on some crazy parties if he's offering that.
When everybody started freaking out about that, I thought about, there's nothing really new. When Arthur C. Clarke wrote, science fiction before he died, he did 2001: A Space Odyssey, but before that, he did a story about satellites being up in the sky because the Earth is round. You have to bounce off the satellite to get to the other side of the world, and that came true.
Yeah.
But if you remember the film 2001: A Space Odyssey, how the computer took over and wouldn't let the guy back in, and he just, he killed the other guy that was with him, and on, and I'm thinking,
Don't give away, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. And movies just came out.
spoilers on a 50-year-old movie.
By the way, do you know where the name HAL came from?
I do, but I forgot it.
It's an acronym.
No. They took IBM and moved each letter one.
No kidding.
HAL is HAL is one letter back from IBM.
Well, my night has not been wasted because I learned something new.
I was going to.
For those of you that are worried as a DJ about AI, go to Spotify. They have an AI DJ there that will help you out, and it's horrendous. I'm dead serious.
I know.
They took someone's voice, they took their mannerisms of speech, recorded all of them, all the words they could, and now there's this guy that comes in and out of nowhere goes like, "You could have this. You probably missed that summer from 2018. Here's a banger." It's terrible. So if you have any skill or talent at all, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't think we'll have to worry about it in our lifetime.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm not.
Well, Howie, I'd rather somebody a little younger said that, but that's okay. I'll still
wait.
You jump in that one, I get a little angry.
That got dark. That got dark fast.
Jay will be giving my eulogy next week when I die, and
so actually the AI guy will. But Howie, he'll be wearing a New York Dolls T-shirt. So,
that's cool. That's cool.
See, apparently, Jay's going to be giving the eulogy at every meat eater's funeral, as he was telling us before the broadcast. So, if you eat meat, you're going to die for Jay. That's
whatever he said.
But
there's another Aerosmith reference.
In my opinion, humble opinion, there's no substitute for experience.
Nope.
And that's where AI is going to fail. So, does anybody have anything else, or do we want to put a fork in this?
I'm all in. Fork right here. I'm all in.
All right.